Lifehackers, it's Carrie Bentley, and today I'm going to be sharing my project planning system with you. I get asked all the time how to plan projects, and in my former career as a brand manager in the CPG industry, I did a lot of project planning. In fact, the maximum number of projects my team was executing at any one time was about 60 new products. Needless to say, I have a lot of opinions to share about the best way to plan and execute a project. Now, to make things super simple for you, I want to remember this acronym, E.N.D. Think of it as the secret code to unlocking your project planning superpowers. And hey, I'm feeling generous today, so head over to lifehackmethod.com/END. Grab a PDF cheat sheet with this awesome acronym. It's like our secret handshake for successful project planning. In fact, the very first thing you need to remember about your project is to set an end date. Every good project needs a start date and an end date when it can be called done. So if your project is ongoing, it's actually not a project, it's a system. Okay, so what does the acronym END date stand for? Establish final project specifications. Note key milestones. Define tasks within each milestone. Determine task order. Assign and flesh out tasks. Timeline setting. And finally, ensure success. So let's go through these point by point. E is for establish final project specifications. This is where you visualize the grand finale of the project. So detail out what the end result of this project should look like to be considered a smashing success, like a hit party where everyone's leaving at 2 a.m. with confetti in their hair. So I'll use the example of a recent project my team executed for Lifehack Tribe. So we decided to launch masterminds for our Lifehack Tribe community members. And these masterminds are niche interest groups where members of similar interests can meet and solve problems together. So the final project specifications were: launch 5 mastermind calls in March 2023 for Lifehack Tribe members, and promote these calls ahead of time to the community. Provide opportunities for member feedback, host the notes and replays in the Tribe library, create opportunities for buddy matching within the call, generate positive feedback, and achieve certain attendance metrics. So depending on the complexity of your project, you could have just one final outcome, or you could have a laundry list like I did. Now, I usually write this in the summary section of the project right inside the software. So for example, my software is Asana that I use to manage all of our tasks and projects. Next comes N for note key milestones. This is where you identify interim results on the way to completion. So think of them as like the shiny gold coins in your favorite video game that lead you to the final boss. If you're not really sure about what milestones you should set, Google and ChatGPT can be very useful. Once you've marked out your milestones, ask yourself, if I hit all of these milestones, would the project success be guaranteed? If not, you need more milestones. For the launch of the Lifehack Tribe Masterminds, the key milestones included: identify the topics of each mastermind, create an agenda template for how the calls would run, train coaches in group facilitation and the specifics of how to lead those calls. By the way, this ended up becoming an evergreen training document with screencasts and SOPs. Create assets needed for the calls, schedule the March masterminds, promote the March masterminds, and the big one, execute that first month of calls. Now, each of those milestones became a section header inside my Asana project. Next is define the tasks that need to happen within each milestone. So break down every single task that you think needs to be completed. And picture this as the secret recipe. It's all the ingredients you need to achieve that final project. And again, using Google, using ChatGPT, these are super useful tools here if it's a project you've never done before. For the masterminds, inside, for example, the create assets milestone, we had tasks like write the template script, design the slides, create feedback forms, create library pages for the notes and replays. Great. So now you're halfway there. You have done the E.N.D. of END. And now for the date part. Determine task order. You've got to put those tasks now and reshuffle them. You've got to put them in the right order. So just like in adding ingredients at the right moment, you're going to be ordering the tasks by what needs to come first, second, third, and so on. Some tasks might depend on others, so it's important to get that sequence right. So for example, before we could design the slides for the masterminds, we needed to have the script done. So create script was placed visually higher than create slides inside the Asana project. Next is assign tasks. For each task, assign an owner, determine a budget, and define the desired result. The owner could be you or someone else on your team if you work with the team. And this is really helpful as you start thinking about how much time, energy, and money you're gonna need to make this project a success. And in fact, you might even trim back on your milestones here if you can already tell that you don't have enough resources to complete the project as specified. Now, inside the tasks, include any relevant links or SOPs, standard operating procedures, that you need to complete this task. So links could be to important documents, websites, or other outside resources. And SOPs are detailed instructions on how to perform a task. This is especially useful for tasks that are going to be repeated a lot. And next is where the rubber meets the road. T is for timeline setting. Timeline setting involves establishing a realistic and achievable schedule for each task and the overall project completion. So assign due dates for each milestone and task at this point. Remember, flexibility is key. You might need to tweak and adjust as you go, sort of like a GPS rerouting you around traffic. So just plan on adjusting those due dates. Notice how this is one of the last steps, and often people try to go for this as a first step, and the problem is you don't yet know enough about the project to be able to do this right off the bat. You need to do all those other previous steps first. And it should be a lot easier now to guesstimate those due dates now that you've gotten the whole project planned out. My advice though, add at least a 50% buffer time to tasks that you've never done before or you need to rely on someone else to do. This is key to avoid the stress of being behind schedule. And now you're ready to start executing your project. The final step is E, ensure success. Continuously monitor and adjust your project plan as necessary to make sure you're still going in the right direction. You'll find that the due dates especially get adjusted, and you'll probably keep adding a lot of tasks that you didn't think of before. And voila, you've conquered the world of project planning with the incredible power of E.N.D. And hey, don't forget to grab your PDF cheat sheet at lifehackmethod.com/END for a handy reminder of all these steps. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.